Hey everyone, welcome to another live virtual activity for construction months. This time we have such a really cool experience for you. We are going to take an inside look at a wine cave. Oh, hold on. Hearing my own feedback. We're going to take an inside look at a wine cave excavation, as well as a couple of other construction sites that we are going to look at with Nordby Construction. My name is Brandon Jewell. I am with the CTE Foundation, and I'm here with my co-host, Robin. Robin, will you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Robin Bartholow, and I work at the North Coast Builders Exchange. I'm the Director of Workforce Development there, and I have the honor to work with a really great industry leader, Tony Simmons, who is the president and partner at Nordby Construction. So Tony, you want to tell them a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Welcome, everybody. My name's Tony Simmons, and as Robin mentioned, I'm president and partner at Nordby Construction Company. We are a general contractor located in Santa Rosa. Most of our work is primarily in Sonoma, Napa, Marin, and Mendocino counties. And we actually have three divisions to our company. We have a commercial division that does, high-end wineries, commercial projects like restaurants, movie theaters, apartments once in a while, things like that. And then we also have a high-end estate home division that does high-end estates. And then lastly, we have our wine cave division that we're going to be taking a look at today, as well as our commercial division. So thanks again for having me on, and I'm looking forward to showing you all what we do.
Tony, we were talking before we got started here about how you guys are general contractors and you work with several other companies that might have a more specific focus. Do you want to explain how that whole system works within the construction industry?
Sure, be happy to, Brandon. So yeah, imagine it's kind of like a pyramid scheme. So we are the general contractors are typically at the top. The clients hire us to perform the work for the project and manage the project from start to finish. And doing that, we, in order to complete the project, we need to hire subcontractors who work under us. So there's been some past presentations on this program from people like Barbie Simpson from Simpson Mechanical, Doug from Oak Grove Construction. And those people are people that we work with often. We hire them to do the work that they do underneath of us. So we do the project, we hire them to perform their scopes of work, such as HVAC work and earth work and grading and electrical work and plumbing. So we need all those subcontractors to complete the work. We can't do it all ourselves. So we are more of the managers that are managing the whole process from start to finish. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. It's very important for us to wrap our heads around how the industry works in that sense, because I think it's a bit unique. Now we have three different videos that we're going to show today. One is of the wine cave excavation. One is of your company building a swimming pool, and we'll get into all the details. And the other is of a warehouse that you recently built, that we're going to kind of look at different parts of that. And you're going to talk us through the whole thing and kind of teach us about what went through to build that. Okay, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to start our very first video. We're going to take a look at the wine cave excavation. Robin, if you have a question along the way, feel free to just kind of speak up, and I'll pause the video. And if anybody has any questions who's watching this right now on YouTube, the chat function in YouTube, I'm keeping an eye on that as well. So if you have a question, throw it in the chat function and I'll stop and we'll ask it live of Tony here. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's the start of the video.
The process of digging a cave is quite complex these days. There's many components to it, and most of them are surrounded around the safety of excavation. Behind me is one of the pieces of equipment that we use to excavate our caves. One of the first steps in doing this is that we need to determine the soil geology. So before any caves are done, there are borings done into the ground in the cave locations to determine the soil condition. The soil condition can range from sandy soil to solid rock. Each condition is determined so that we can figure out how long it'll take to dig the cave. In a rock condition, there's oftentimes where we will have to use blasting techniques, which is virtually explosives put into rocks to fragment the rock so that we can chip it away. Most of the caves that we dig, we use the header behind us. As you can see, the heads on these to dig our cave. This piece of equipment, along with excavators and chipping tools, allow us to chip away at the cave. As you can see behind me, here is one of the caves that we're currently working on.
So what's going on here, Tony?
So in this video, this is again one of our chipping machines. So this cave in particular has quite a bit of rock in it. So we didn't need to blast in it, but in order to work through it, we have to use the chipper on it. And that's what we're doing right here. Most of
it's like a jackhammer almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a jackhammer on a tractor at the end of a tractor head.
Wow.
So most of the caves we use the road header that we showed you in the last video there, and that's commonly what we use. And those heads turn and rotate and eat away.
This process is.
Sorry, continue.
So those heads rotate and turn and they eat away at the dirt. Those heads, the teeth that I showed you on those are made out of diamonds. So those are diamond tip heads. So they cut through anything pretty much, except for solid rock. That's when we need to get into the chipping tools. But 80% of the time we use those cutter heads, and they cut away the dirt really easily and simply. And it's a lot quicker than using the chipper or the head tool that you saw there. So
it looks, Tony, it looks like it's kind of slow work. Like you know, it doesn't take a couple days to create a wine cave. I mean, I know they're different sizes, but it's kind of slow plodding work. So what's the typical length of a job like that?
It takes quite a while. So usually on an average, we get a couple feet a day on cave. So a couple lineal feet a day, 2 to 5 feet a day is kind of average, depending on the geology or what the cave's made out of. So yeah, it's a pretty slow process. The caves can take anywhere from 2 to 3 months all the way up to almost a year to complete for digging through them. So, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna continue playing this.
Yep.
Second.
Much like doing a swimming pool, except upside down. So in a swimming pool, you use a product, either Shotcrete or gunite, to finish the pool, which is a liquefied version of concrete with some additives in it. It's shot through a hose system, and in this case, we're shooting it on the walls and up overhead inside the cave. In a pool, we'd just be upside down. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that process. It's very messy, and I'm not gonna be talking much inside because it's gonna be loud, but we'll get a good video of what it looks like and how it's done.
So Tony, they're spraying concrete right now?
Yep. So right now they're spraying Shotcrete. As you can see, there's some pipes right there, and those are fire sprinkler pipes that they're covering. And so in caves, much like a building, caves have lots of different components within them. So they have electricity, they have plumbing, they have fire sprinklers, And in wine caves, they have glycol, which is a refrigeration type system that cools the wine in the tanks and barrels. And so we run all those utilities throughout the cave on the walls and on the ceilings of the cave. And those are covered with shotcrete. So when we dig the cave, we install the pipes, and then that what you saw right there is the final coat of the shotcrete, which is covering over all the utilities at the very end. And so that shotcrete gets applied, and then sometimes on projects where the owner wants to take it a little, make it a little nicer on the interior finish, we do things such as painting it, or actually applying stucco like you see on the outside of a house or a commercial building to make it even a smoother finish on the inside. So, and even sometimes we do brick and stone on the inside of the cave to make it even a finer, nicer finish. So
can you explain what the benefit of having a wine cave is? Because, you know, not every winery has one. I'm wondering, it seems like such a big undertaking, and it's got to be worth it if you had that option. So what is the benefit to the wine?
So the benefit to doing a cave is that the temperature of it. So because you have a barrier of earth over the top of the cave, it needs to be at least 6 feet of earth above the cave to keep that barrier. And what it does is it creates a weather break so that the temperature stays at a constant temperature inside the cave. So the cave average around 62 to 64 degrees year round. No matter what the temperature is outside, they stay at that constant temperature. So the reason why they started doing caves, you know, hundreds of years ago for storage of wine was because of that same reason, because you don't need to use any type of mechanical cooling or heating to keep the wine at a constant temperature. And that's one of the key components to making wine, is you have to keep it at a specific temperature for it to ferment. So the caves work perfect for that function. So that's why they're very commonly used. They are not, I would say, the first means of storing wine. Typically above ground buildings are, but it's being used. They're becoming more and more popular because of, one, again, the cost of mechanically cooling them is a lot more expensive as PG&E costs go up and up and up. And then the second reason is because they're becoming more of an entertainment purpose for caves. So more people like to use them for an event space. You know, people can go into them. It's a really neat experience to go into a wine cave. Not many people go to it and see that or get that experience. So they're making them into an event space now, as well as storage. So,
Tony, I'm curious about, does there need to be an intricate drainage system up above the cave to carry water away so it doesn't accumulate above and possibly leak? It seems like, I mean, it's just, if it's 6 or 8 feet above, the water's going to come down far enough to actually sit on top of it.
So actually, it's a good question, Robin, because it does. Actually, the water does come down to the cave level. And most of the caves we install a waterproofing membrane inside the cave. So as part of the cave construction, we put our first layer of shotcrete in there. And then we install a liner that goes in the inside that's a waterproof liner. So as water comes down, it hits the waterproofing and goes down around the sides of the caves down to the bottom. And then we install a drainage system at the bottom of the walls of the cave. And that drainage system drains all the way out to the outside of the cave and goes to a drainage location. So that's how we get it. So it's quite intricate. It's obviously something that has to be designed and carefully looked at, and can be a concern. And so that's how we do it.
Tony, can you say where that wine cave that you're building is, where it's located?
So the first wine cave that we looked at when they were doing the chipping is a custom cave in Sonoma County. It's actually at a residence. So I can't name the name of it where it's at,
Yeah.
unfortunately, because it's at a house. But the second cave that we looked at where they were actually shooting the Shotcrete is actually over at Inglenook Winery in St. Helena, Rutherford area.
Okay.
So.
To be honest, I thought they were the same cave.
I did too.
I didn't know there were two different ones, but it makes sense because they're at such different stages of the build.
Yep.
Okay. I just thought you just did the video like pretty far apart. So.
I think I might put wine cave on my Christmas list.
Yeah, I don't have a big lot at my house, but I sure would like a wine cave under it. So
Yeah.
I might hire you.
And actually, the first cave that we looked at, that cave is going to be used for wine. The spot where they were chipping at, that is actually a home theater. So there's going to be a theater in there.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
the spot where I took the shot that was behind me, that cave section is a bowling alley. So they're going to have a bowling alley in there and home theater and amongst other things in there. So pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
One day when I grow up, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
all that. So we have another video. This time we're going to be looking at a swimming pool. I know it's not quite the build as a wine cave, but it's really interesting to see the different types of construction that you guys do. So I'm going to start that video right now.
Okay.
And we don't have sound on this one, Tony.
Yep.
So feel free to talk over it and let us know what we're looking at.
Yep. So this is Lucas Valley Homeowners Association. This is at their clubhouse. They have a pool, and so we removed the old pool. This is down in San Rafael. So we removed the old pool, and we're looking at where the old pool was, and we are digging a new pool, and then we're going to be doing all new concrete, new landscaping. There's going to be a gazebo, outdoor seating, a bunch of new site amenities to add to it. So that's the existing clubhouse. This, you're looking at the parking lot out front, and we're building an ADA handicap ramp down into the clubhouse, which didn't exist before.
So I'm actually going to jump back here. So what I'm looking at here is there's a steep incline. Is that where stairs will be?
That's where the entry stairs will be. That's where the old stairs used to be, and the new ones will be. And then right where your arrow is currently is a ramp that goes from the parking lot where the gentleman is standing there, comes down and goes down to the entryway into the clubhouse. And so every commercial building nowadays needs ADA or handicap accessibility. So one of the upgrades we're doing.
Okay. So that was kind of neat to see. I wish that I could see what it will look like. I wish I could see what it will become. If we would have thought about this way ahead of time, we could have seen some projects from beginning to end. That would have been really neat.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Tony, it looks like so many different things go on these different kinds of construction sites. So what kind of education and training do you look for in a new employee, like kind of your entry-level employee?
So typically, I would say, we have a bunch of different positions that we have available and that we hire people for, all the way from a laborer who we hire on to virtually, help carpenters and superintendents out at the job sites, to hiring project managers who work in the office and manage the work process. And so there are different levels of entry into it. Any type of position, manager position, typically we're looking for somebody with a 4-year degree in some sort of construction, like construction management. But a lot of our field superintendents and people that work out in the site, all those people actually started at an early age, typically out of high school, with no experience, and came right into the work trades, learned the trade, learned from working with people out in the field and gaining that experience, and then worked their way up in the different positions within the company. And so it definitely is a an experience driven industry for knowledge. So
If I remember correctly, you started off in a junior position and worked your way up to president. So
yeah,
how'd that happen?
so I've been in the industry about 25 years. So I did out of high school. I started working in the field as a carpenter while I was going to school and getting my construction management certificate. And so worked through that, became an employee at Nordby Construction as a estimator. And that's another position that's inside the office where we figure out how much projects cost, right, for clients. So I've done estimating, and then I became a project engineer, which is like an assistant project manager, helps manage the projects. And then I became a project manager, and then I just kept going up through the different ranks. And so there's lots of opportunities for people out there that are looking to get into the construction industry. There is so many positions out there for individuals at all different levels. And, it's, I always tell people that, if you think you want to do something in construction, that you get into it and start with something, and the doors will open up all around you for you, and you'll learn about all sorts of opportunities in construction once you're in there. And I think that's why the program is so good, so great for young students, is gives them an opportunity or a glimpse into what construction's about and the opportunities, because there's hundreds and hundreds of opportunities out there in the construction industry. So
Robin, Tony touched on it, but he's mentioning the program, and I am assuming he's talking about the Nordv Construction Corps. And I think actually on that note about exploring the vast number of careers in construction, maybe you can talk a little bit about the Nordv Construction Corps, about what it is, and for those students who are watching this, how they can get involved if they're interested.
You bet. Thank you for the opportunity. The Nordv Construction Corps is a career exploration and skill building program for seniors in high school. So it's during your last semester from January through the summer. Meet once a week, one Saturday a month. And every time we meet, we hear about a different trade, or we hear from a different business owner like Tony, like Doug Hamilton, like Barbie Simpson that we've seen in the other videos. So you really get a flavor of some of the different opportunities that are available in construction if you choose to check that out as a career. We can't touch on everything in basically a 15-week program, but it gives you a flavor. Or Brandon, if you could type in the link to the Construction Corps website now. We are accepting applications for this year, and they are due on December 2nd, and we would love to see you apply and check it out. Even for those who, like Tony said, there's entry-level trades people, field people, there are four-year college degree people. All of those types of students have been part of this program and just learned a little bit more about what construction really offers. So thank you.
The website is constructioncorps.org, and it's Construction Corps, but CORPS.org, right? Okay, that's what I put in the chat function for anybody who's interested, and I'll also put it in the description of the video after we're done here. And then do you want to just touch on, Robin, real quick, because I know that the Construction Corps has a really good track record of getting those participants actually hired into entry-level positions.
Yeah, we do. This will be our 5th year, and every year essentially, if you've made it through the program and you've shown a good work ethic and a real desire to work in construction, everyone that wants to get hired essentially in the past has been hired by a local construction company. So not only are you listening to people, but you're having FaceTime with them. During COVID, we're still going to do it. We're going to do it online, but the boot camp we're planning on having in person one way or another. So
Very cool.
yeah, there's direct contact with industry, which is, even if you decide you don't want to do construction, it's a great experience just for learning how to deal with people who might hire you someday.
Mhm. So I'm gonna play the last video that we have where we're gonna take a look at a warehouse that Nordby Construction built. And then this one also has no sound. So Tony, it'd be great if you could just walk us through what we're looking at, and we'll ask some questions along the way.
Absolutely. So this is it's a 70,000 square foot commercial warehouse over by Sonoma County Airport here in Santa Rosa. We're just wrapping it up. They're doing some landscape work outside, finishing up, planting the plants.
Oh, that's right next to La Tortilla Factory in Cousteau, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw La Tortilla Factory in the background.
Yeah. So this is some interior shots of the office area within the warehouse. There's a small office area that has some offices, restrooms. You'll see in a minute, there's a break room inside. And this is what we refer to as a pre-engineered metal building. It's different than a conventional structural steel building. The pre-engineered metal building like this is virtually what I can refer to here. You can see some of the components of it. It's like an erector set or like a Lego set. Virtually, it comes with all the wall panels, the roof panels, the structural steel components, and it virtually just goes together at the site. It all comes out labeled and everything else versus a traditional structural steel building where you have to erect the steel, then put the exterior skin on it and the roof and other things. So this is a good overview of the inside of the building. Those are some restrooms that you're seeing. This is the fire sprinkler system. I wanted to show this to you because some people don't know what these are. This is where it comes into the building and then goes up to the pipes in the ceiling and extends out to all the branch lines. A lot of times you don't see these in residential and houses. You're seeing them more often in houses nowadays, but it wasn't a traditional thing that you would see in houses. It's always been in commercial buildings.
Tony, do you, I'm going to stop it right there and ask a question. When it comes to something like that, I feel like that's pretty specialized. Do you do that, or do you contract with somebody else who specializes in something like the piping and stuff?
Yep, that's it has to be a certified individual. They have to have a certain license to do that, much like an electrician has a C16 license or a plumber has a plumbing license. There's specific people that have fire sprinkler licenses. So that's all they do is they install fire sprinkler systems. So it's every single one of those components, just like the structural steel that you saw in there, that has to be installed by a structural steel installer, erector, that's certified doing that.
So, Tony, Robin, is your sound distorted, or is that just on my end?
No, it was it was really distorted. Tony, say something, Tony.
Oh,
how about now?
It's clear now. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
It was almost a demonic sound. It was loud.
Yikes.
Would you mind actually just repeating a little bit about what you just said? Because I think it might have been hard to hear.
Sure. No problem. So yeah, the fire sprinkler guys, they have a specific license that they have to have in order to install the fire sprinkler systems, much like an electrician has a license specific to them. So same thing with the structural steel components inside that building. You need a structural steel guy that has a license to erect those buildings. So.
Okay. And then speaking, you mentioned electricians. The next shot here looks like kind of a whole electrical unit. So
Yeah.
maybe you can explain this as well.
So, as you know, most of you students probably know, like on your house, you have an electrical panel on the outside of your house where the power comes in and you have a meter. This is the electrical panel for a big commercial building like this. And there's meters on it. You can see right there's one, and there's one down there further. That's how big the electrical panel is for a 70,000 square foot building. Much, much larger. It's the size of a vehicle. This is a fire alarm panel there that I just showed you that ties to the fire sprinklers. And then these are mechanical units, so furnaces for the heating and cooling for the offices that I showed you earlier. So that's all the ductwork and the mechanical units.
Hey, Tony, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Is this building being built for a particular person or a particular company, or is this just built by a developer to then be leased out to whoever?
Yeah, so this one in particular is just for a developer that's they're looking to lease it out right now. There was a couple of other buildings that were similar in size that we completed for the same developer that actually were leased out during the construction process. And then what we ended up doing is fitting out those buildings for that client that leased those buildings. So
all this stuff in there is like basic for whoever leases it out.
Yep, we tried to make it as generic as possible so that anybody could come in there and utilize what's in there, and then we can expand on it from there. So yeah,
interesting.
Absolutely. You're right.
So we're pretty close to the end of the video here. It looks like just the last clip is a ramp here.
Yeah, so this is the loading docks. So there's two on this side and two on the opposite side. And those gray things right there are called dock levelers. And what the dock levelers do is they help when the truck backs in there, they help level out the docks so that when you try to drive a forklift into the truck, it gives you easy access into the trucks. So and back out. So, and it moves up and down the dock leveler. So
great. So I think, we're pretty close to our time. So we do want to wrap it up fairly quickly, but Robin, we do have a question from YouTube, which is asking if the Construction Corps link has student videos of what the participants got out of the program.
Yeah, there's a video on the homepage that you can watch that has student testimonials. So it's really helpful. And if you have any other information, you can always give me a call at the contact information that's on the website. Can I ask Tony another question? Brandon, do we have time?
We have a little time.
Kind of quick over. Tony, what's your favorite thing about working in construction?
I think the one is being able to accomplish things. I would say that there's always something new that I get to do. Like it's always a new project. We're starting a new project. We're finishing a new project, and building relationships with people and with subcontractors. And it's just it's an amazing opportunity because I always get to meet new people and work with new people and build these amazing projects that you can really look back and say, hey, I was a part of that great building over there, or that winery, or that restaurant, that we're going to. And it's just fun to do and have those accomplishments. So
yeah,
that's what I'm
around for a long time, huh?
They are. Yep, yeah. They are. So
that's a great final question. Thank you very much. So before we end, I do want to let those who are watching know that our next virtual activity will actually be completely about the Construction Corps. I think we're going to have a panel of some past participants who not only went through the Nordv Construction Corps program, but also now have careers in construction because of that. So tune in for that. That's going to be on Thursday. Yeah, it'll be next Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to watch that, go to ctesonomacounty.org/virtual CCL. CCL stands for Career Connected Learning. It's the same place that you probably went to view this live activity. All our live activities are going to be on that. So check pretty often because we're going to be doing these continuously. So thank you so much, Robin, for being my co-host. Tony, thank you so much for not only taking those videos, but for kind of giving us this inside scoop about the industry and your company, Nordby Construction. So, and thank you to the students who are watching this. We really appreciate it.
Happy to do it. Thank you for allowing me to be on. So,
of course.
Great. Thanks, Brandon.
Of course.
Take care, everybody.